Have you ever thought about where your produce comes from? Most grocery chains receive produce from various local and national farmers. In fact, there are about 3.4 million farmers in the United States today. But of that staggering number, only 45,000 are Black farmers. At the Better Buggy, we are a proud group of Atlanta-based Black-owned farmers, selling produce locally and nationwide. Our easy-to-navigate online platform makes it easy for you to make a one-time purchase or to simplify your life by subscribing to our weekly produce box. Whichever frequency you choose, you can order with confidence, knowing you'll receive 100% organic farm-fresh produce. If you're looking for a thoughtful gift for a loved one that they'd actually find useful, be sure to pop by our online store where you can snag a gift card your recipient can use to order their own produce and t-shirts. Ready to start supporting local Black-owned farms and making healthier food decisions? Visit thebetterbuggy.com now to start shopping.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man that you're looking at is Dr. Andrew Baker. He is the one that did the actual autopsy on George Floyd. And remember, Derek Chauvin's attorney said George Floyd died of fentanyl. Okay. And we know that ain't true. We saw the damn videos. Fentanyl was not on his neck. Derek Chauvin was on his neck. All right. So they're trying to say he restrained George Floyd by putting his knee on his neck. And you remember, the trainers have already taken a stand and said they never taught that in policing. When they trained the police, they never told them to put a knee on someone's neck. So that's all debunked about he was just doing his job and what he was trained to do, all debunked. Now it's being debunked again because they were harping on this fentanyl stuff. And now the doctor that did the actual autopsy, Dr. Andrew Baker, said no, it was oxygen deprivation. Now, how did he get oxygen deprivation? From Derek Chauvin having his knee on his neck. Period. So they're not corroborating anything that Derek Chauvin's attorney is saying, but we know how they are in America. They'll hear this and totally disregard it and still give him a kid's glove sentence. We know how you get down. So this is CBS News, ladies and gentlemen, April 9th, 2021. The medical examiner who conducted the autopsy on George Floyd has taken the stand in the trial of Derek Chauvin, the fired Minneapolis officer charged in Floyd's death. Hennepin County medical examiner Dr. Andrew Baker is testifying about Floyd's cause of death. Baker's testimony comes after 3 medical examiners testified for the prosecution that Floyd died of oxygen deprivation, not drugs, as the defense has suggested. The first witness to take the stand Friday was forensic pathologist Dr. Lindsay Thomas, who testified for the prosecution. She said Floyd would not have died that day if he hadn't been restrained by police, and examined that she was able to rule out heart arrhythmia or fentanyl overdose as cause of death. The actions of the law enforcement officers resulted in Mr. Floyd's death, specifically those actions that subdue restraint and neck compression, Thomas said. Thomas testified that she was able to use a video of a fatal arrest to help her rule out other causes of death, including heart arrhythmia and a fentanyl overdose, 2 causes the defense has suggested. Thomas said someone who died of a heart arrhythmia would typically experience a sudden death. She described an example of someone shoveling snow, clenching their chest and falling over fairly quickly. But in Floyd's case, she said there was nothing sudden about his death. She said she was also able to use a video to rule out a fentanyl overdose, during which someone would typically become sleepy and their breathing would gradually slow. Thomas said she felt comfortable ruling out both of those causes of deaths. Her testimony came a day after another medical examiner, Dr. Martin Tubin, testified Floyd died from low level of oxygen that damaged his brain and caused his heart to stop under the weight of the officers pinning him down. Emergency physician and forensic medicine specialist Bill Smock told the standing took the stand Thursday and gave a similar opinion, saying Floyd died not of drug overdose, but because he had no air left in his body. Wow, they couldn't get a medical examiner to go along with the fentanyl thing, huh? Chauvin, who was seen in disturbing videos kneeling on Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes, is charged with second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. Chauvin has pleaded not guilty. The other 3 officers involved are charged with aiding and abetting and are expecting to be tried jointly in August. So I don't think anybody should be shocked that, nobody is going along with this fentanyl death, because y'all only saying that to try to get Chauvin out of the same, of this whole thing. So we're supposed to be blatantly stupid about what we saw on camera just so he can walk. Woo, y'all got some problems. A high IQ ain't worth shit. Okay, so Baker said he took a series of photos as he conducted the autopsy on Floyd, so other pathologists would be able to review his work. Baker identified hard copies of the autopsy photos, which were also passed to the jury to review. They were not displayed in court. Going through the photos, Baker described abrasions to Floyd's face. He said would be entirely consistent with being pinned against asphalt. He also pointed to photos of the bruise with scrapes on his right shoulder and abrasions left on Floyd's left shoulder, which he said was consistent with Floyd being prone to asphalt. Baker noted the damage to the skin on Floyd's hand and said it would be consistent with the hand banging into something. Dr. Andrew Baker, the Hennepin County medical examiner who performed the autopsy on Floyd, he said that he died of cardiopulmonary arrest, complicating the law enforcement subdual restraint and neck compression. So these medical examiners were pretty consistent. So they put about 3 of them on the stand and they corroborated each other. Not one of them went along with that fentanyl death that, they were trying to pull off. And like I said, they're only saying that trying to get him off. This is what they do. They do these heinous things and then try not to be accountable. But as you can see, they are all consistently saying that he did have, heart problems, but the heart problems were due to oxygen being cut off. It wasn't from the drugs that were in his system. And if it was the drugs, he sure looked like he could walk around in that store when you saw the video of him in that cup market. Baker's testimony will be key because Floyd's death has been a major point of dispute. The defense has focused on Floyd's heart disease and drug use, which they said were not factors in his death, but they're trying to say it was. It wasn't. But 3 experts called by the prosecution said Floyd died of oxygen deprivation under the pressure of officers on his neck and back, not drug overdose. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all tell me what you think. You know, like I said, the fentanyl overdose is just an attempt to try to get Chauvin out of everything, because you know these folks ain't down with accountability. That ain't their thing. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.